So I wanted to do a video on the safety of artificial sweeteners. I use artificial sweeteners. When I used to teach fat people how to lose weight, I would explain to them the benefits of using artificial sweeteners. And a lot of people don't like using artificial sweeteners because they think they cause cancer. There's not really any good evidence that shows that artificial sweeteners cause cancer. So new study shows that sugar-sweetened drinks, not diet drinks, not artificially sweetened drinks, sugar-sweetened drinks increase risk of cancer mortality. This is from the American Cancer Society. A large study led by researchers of the American Cancer Society, men and women who drank 2 or more servings of sugar-sweetened beverages per day compared to people who never drank, had a 5% increased risk of death from an obesity-related cancer, including gastrointestinal, postmenopausal breast cancer, endometrial, and kidney cancer. These results appear to be related to the higher body mass index of the participants who regularly drank sugar-sweetened beverages. Okay, keep that in mind, and I'm going to get into that later because diet soda seems to help people control their weight. Americans exceed recommended limits on sugar consumption by the U.S. dietary guidelines. This is why when people try to use the USDA recommendations, like the USDA diet, when they go, clearly the USDA diet is bullshit because everybody's fat. Do you really think people are following the USDA diet, whether it's the food pyramid or the myplate.gov diet? No, of course they're not. Otherwise, they wouldn't be eating all this garbage. And they're certainly not following something like the Harvard healthy eating plate. Okay, so the thing is, of course, people are exceeding this with the sugared sweetened beverages, and it's resulting in increased risk of obesity-related cancers. Now, before I continue, I want to remind people I'm not a doctor, I'm not a physician of any kind, not an MD, not a DO, not an ND, I'm not a nurse practitioner, not a registered nurse, not an LPN, nothing like that, not a chiropractor, not a dietitian, not a nutritionist, nothing like that. This is not medical advice. If you have a medical question or a medical concern, seek the advice of somebody that can answer that or help you. I'm not somebody that can do that, okay? YouTube is not a format to receive medical information, okay? So, what are artificial sweeteners and how are they regulated in the United States? Artificial sweeteners, also called sugar substitutes, are substances that are used instead of sucrose, which is table sugar, to sweeten foods and beverages. Because artificial sweeteners are many times sweeter than table sugar, much smaller amounts, 200 to 20,000 times less, are needed to create the same level of sweetness. Artificial sweeteners are regulated by the United States Food and Drug Administration. The Food and Drug Administration, like the National Cancer Institute, is an agency of the Department of Health and Human Services. The FDA regulates food, drugs, medical devices, cosmetics, biologics, tobacco products, and radiation-emitting products. The Food Additives Amendment to the Food, Drug, and Cosmetics Act, which was passed by Congress in 1958, requires the FDA approve food additives, including artificial sweeteners, before they can be made available for sale in the United States. However, this legislation does not apply to products that are generally recognized as safe. Such products do not require FDA approval before being marketed. Is there an association between artificial sweeteners and cancer? Questions about artificial sweeteners and cancers arose when early studies showed that cyclamate in combination with saccharin, so this is 2 artificial sweeteners, cyclamate in combination with saccharin, caused bladder cancer in laboratory animals. However, results from subsequent carcinogenicity studies that examine whether a substance... Now remember, this is not aspartame. This is not sucralose. This is not stevia, xylitol, etc. This is specifically cyclamate and saccharin together, not independently, together. And on top of that, subsequent carcinogenicity studies okay, which examine whether a substance can cause cancer or not, of these sweeteners have not provided clear evidence of an association with cancer in humans. Similarly, studies of other FDA-approved sweeteners have not demonstrated clear evidence of an association with cancer in humans. What have studies shown about a possible association between specific artificial sweeteners and cancer? Saccharin. Studies in laboratory rats during the early 1970s linked saccharin with the development of bladder cancer, especially in male rats. However, mechanistic studies that examine how a substance works in the body, have shown that these results apply only to rats. Human epidemiological studies of patterns, causes, and control of diseases in groups of people have shown no consistent evidence that saccharin is associated with bladder cancer. Because the bladder tumors seen in the rats are due to a mechanism not relevant to humans, meaning this only exists in rats and similar animals, this metabolic pathway does not exist in people, and because there is no clear evidence that saccharin causes cancer in humans, saccharin was delisted in 2000 from the U.S. National Toxicology Program's report on carcinogens, where it had been listed since 1981. So it's been proven that it doesn't cause that in humans. Aspartame. Okay, aspartame was approved in 1981 by the FDA after numerous tests showed that it did not cause cancer or other adverse effects in laboratory animals. A 2005 study raised the possibility that very high doses of aspartame might cause lymphoma and leukemia in rats, but after reviewing the study, the FDA identified many shortcomings in it and did not alter its previous conclusion that aspartame is safe. In 2005, the National Toxicology Program reported that aspartame exposure did not cause tumors in or affect the survival of 2 types of genetically modified mice. Now, mind you, these mice are genetically modified to develop cancer, and aspartame did not affect the survival of those mice. In 2006, NCI examined human data from the NIH AARP diet and health study of over 500,000 retirees. Increasing consumption of aspartame-containing beverages was not associated with the development of lymphoma, leukemia, or brain cancer. Okay? A 2013 review of epidemiological evidence also found no consistent association between the use of aspartame and cancer risk. Sucralose, marketed under the name Splenda, was approved by the FDA as a sweetening agent for specific food types in 1998, followed by approval as a general-purpose sweetener in 1999. Sucralose has been studied extensively, and the FDA reviewed more than 110 safety studies in support of its approval. In 2016, the same laboratory that conducted the aspartame studies discussed above reported an increased incidence of blood cell tumors in mice fed very high doses of sucralose. However, as with the aspartame studies, FDA has identified significant scientific shortcomings concerning the reported study results. Acylfame, potassium, neotame, and advantame. 3 other artificial sweeteners are currently permitted for use in food in the United States. Okay, these were approved in 1988, blah, 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 okay. Before approving these sweeteners, the FDA reviewed numerous safety studies that were conducted on each sweetener, including studies to assess cancer risk. The results of these studies showed no evidence that these sweeteners caused cancer or pose any other threat to human life. Cyclamate, because the findings in rats suggested that cyclamate might increase the risk of bladder cancer in humans, the FDA banned the use of cyclamate in 1969 after re-examination of cyclamate's carcinogenicity and evaluation of additional data. Scientists concluded that cyclamate was not a carcinogen. So they banned it, but it's not a carcinogen, okay? A food additive, they determined later that it wasn't after they banned it. A food additive petition was filed with the FDA for the reapproval of cyclamate, but this petition is currently being held in abeyance, not actively being considered. The FDA's concerns about cyclamate are not cancer-related. Where can people find additional information? They can do it. Okay. Artificial sweeteners for obesity, better than sugary alternatives, potentially a solution. Okay. Interventional data and indirect interventional data consistently showed beneficial effects on weight and cardiometabolic health, including glycemia, when sugar substitutes or other when sugar-sweetened beverages or other energy-dense foods were replaced by artificially sweetened beverages or artificially sweetened meal replacements. Conclusion. Correlate with obesity. Okay. Furthermore, beverages sweetened rather than have been to be critical. Okay, so essentially what you're seeing here is that, as it says here, artificial sweeteners for obesity better than sugary alternatives and potentially a solution. And you can read this on your own if you want. There's actually a lot more links in the description than I'm covering in the video, simply because I don't feel like making this video 40 minutes of just repeating the same stuff. But read the information on your own if you want. It corroborates the fact that artificial sweeteners are not a big risk to health. What I do want to point out, though, is, again, I'm not a doctor, this is not medical advice, but aspartame contains an amino acid, L-phenylalanine, and for people with a very rare genetic disorder called phenylketonuria, it can pose a severe health risk, but that's a very tiny percent of the population. And if you have phenylketonuria, you'd probably know, because you're not allowed to eat other foods that are high in protein because they're high in phenylalanine, like pork, milk, beans, etc. The effects of water and non-nutritive sweetened beverages on weight loss and weight maintenance, a randomized clinical trial. Water and non-nutritive sweetened beverages were not equivalent for weight loss and maintenance. Behavioral treatment, okay. In the population consisting of regular users of non-nutritional sweetened beverages who either maintained or discontinued consumption of these beverages and consumed water during a structured weight loss program, these results suggest that non-nutritive sweetened beverages can be an effective tool for weight loss and maintenance within the context of a weight management program. So drinking non-nutritive sweetened beverages, meaning artificially sweetened beverages, like things sweetened with aspartame and such, can be effective in weight management, okay? That's important to understand. A lot of people like to say that eating non-nutritive sweetened foods or artificially sweetened foods results in people craving more sugar. Is that true? 146 children, or 72%, completed the study. They found no statistically significant difference in satiety between sugar-free and sugar-sweetened group, meaning that no, it didn't. So sugar-sweetened and sugar-free beverages produce similar satiety. Therefore, when children are given sugar-free instead of sugar-containing drinks, they might not make up for the missing calories from other sources like was originally claimed. Low-calorie sweeteners in body weight and composition, a meta-analysis. The current meta-analysis provides a rigorous evaluation of the scientific evidence that low-calorie sweeteners in body weight and composition. Findings from observational studies showed no association between low-calorie sweetener intake and body weight and fat mass, and a small positive association with BMI. However, which provides the highest quality of evidence for examining the potentially causal indicate that substituting low-calorie sweetener options for their regular calorie versions results in a modest weight loss, okay? So eating low-calorie sweetened things results in weight loss. Effects of non-nutritive sweeteners on body weight and BMI in diverse clinical contexts, okay? So there is an ongoing debate about the possible influences of non-nutritive sweeteners on body weight. We conducted a blah, 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 compared to, okay, grouping by nature, consumption of non-nutritive sweeteners, meaning sweeteners that do not have calories, led to significantly negative weight/BMI differences, meaning it lowered the weight in unrestricted energy diets, but not in weight reduction diets. Participants with overweight/obesity in adults showed significant favorable weight and BMI differences with non-nutritive sweeteners. So people might be wondering, what can you make with non-nutritive sweeteners? Okay, well, here's a list of recipes from the company Splenda that makes the name brand of sucralose. Okay, and you can also buy sucralose. But this is Splenda. These are different recipes. So appetizers and snacks, all these. You can click on any one of these and get the recipe. Breads, breakfast, cakes. Feel free to check this out in the description. Cookies. Now, of course, you probably should substitute all the refined ingredient. Like, for example, don't just substitute the sugar for the sucralose or other artificial sweetener, but definitely substitute the white flour for whole wheat flour and the unhealthy oils for healthy oils, etc. Diabetes-friendly recipes, drinks, cold drinks, hot drinks, alcoholic drinks, non-alcoholic drinks, entrees, featured recipes on Diabetes Food Hub, frozen desserts, jams, and others. Okay? And this will be linked in the description. Feel free to check it out. So this is the website for Sweet and Low, and these are some recipes that they have. Okay? So, Skinny Pink Dragon, Vanilla Lavender Steamer, Boozy Sweet Tea, Strawberry Loop Cakes, Peach Crisp for One, Strawberry Champagne Gummy Bears, Crown Jewel Cake, Pink Snowball Cake, Raspberry Mojito Pops, Pink Grasshopper Bars, Pinkies, Oat Milk Hot Cocoa, Pink Peppermint Cocoa, White Mocha, Cran Raspberry Gelatin Dessert, Ginger Grapefruit Slushy, Pumpkin Chai Latte, Banana Cream Chai Pudding, Blood Orange Rosemary Gimlet, Rosemary Spritzer, Rosé Spritzer, Baked Pumpkin Pie Custards, Pumpkin Whoopie Pies, Spiced London Fog, Strawberry Basil Lemonade Pops. And you can switch up the different artificial sweeteners too. Pineapple Champagne Cocktail, Fruity Pims Punch, Blackberry Lemon Hand Pies. You just have to be careful because they have different levels of sweetness. Okay, Sweet Tea Sangria, Irish Cream Chocolate Mug Cake, Chocolate Peanut Butter Superfood Smoothie, Cookie Dough Protein Bites, Rompope Mexican Eggnog, Chocolate Lovers Martini, Apple Cider Sour, Cinnamon and Orange Shortbreads, Chai Spiced Old Fashioned, Cranberry Orange Toddy, Mini Eggnog, whatever the heck, Pumpkin Pie Overnight Oats, Fudgy Mug Brownie, Chocolate Peppermint Trifles, Quick Apple Crumble, Raspberry Thumbprint Cookies, Peach Cobbler Dump Cake, Lemon Curd Thumbprint Daisy Cookies, Apple Pie Dessert Tacos, Mimosa Cupcakes, Baked Chocolate Whiskey Donuts, Edible Chocolate Chip Cookie Dough, Sweet and Spicy Party Nuts, Vanilla Almond Chocolate Truffles, Chocolate Cherry Granola, Chipotle Chicken Fajita Skewers, French Greek Pasta Salad, Spiced Pumpkin Bars with Cream Cheese, No Bake Banana Pudding, Summer Party Fruit Kebabs with Cheesecake, Almond Cinnamon Iced Coffee, Raspberry Cucumber Punch, Sweet Orange Tea. So you can see there's a variety here. Wicked Apple Martini, Cran Apple Cobbler, Tangerine Twist Sparkler, Winter Warming Mulled Wine, Graham Cracker Snickerdoodle Mocktail, spiced chocolate mudslide, kettle corn milkshake. And I'm going to move on. So this is from a website called the Diabetic Gourmet Magazine. And these are different aspartame recipes. Okay. Peanut butter chocolate bars. Let's see here. Mexican bean dip. Pumpkin eggnog. Apricot walnut swirl coffee cake. Banana pineapple tropical pie. Okay. Peanut butter granola bites. Tropical banana pineapple pie. Sugar-free thumbprint cookies. I don't know what it is with them thumbprint cookies. Cranberry salad. Sweet potato pie. Pumpkin roll. Strawberry rhubarb pie. Tangy orange juice muffins. Chocolate cheesecake. Okay, so as you can see, there's a variety of foods you can make. Now, I am not a huge fan of sugar alcohols. Sugar alcohols are actually a natural, non-nutritive sweetener, but they can cause digestion issues, digestive discomfort, stomach cramps, diarrhea, things like that. I'm not a big fan, but that's really only if you eat them in excess. Unfortunately, a lot of people do eat them in excess. That's why I don't usually recommend using them. But these are xylitol recipes, okay? So, almond sugar cookies. Oatmeal raisin cookies, sugar cinnamon cookies, vanilla ice cream. Okay? So there are a variety of low sugar foods that one can make utilizing a variety of artificial sweeteners. Okay? So that's what people need to understand. And that's all for this video.